Good evening, everyone. Depending on which clock, some say it's 7, some say it's a little bit after. My phone says 6:59, so we'll just take the average and call the regular meeting of the Plainville Town Council, April 21st, 2025 meeting to order. If everyone could please stand, I'm going to ask Councilwoman Christopher to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Councilwoman Christopher?
I'd like to make a motion to move item number 1 under appointments and resignations to the beginning of the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. As you can see, we have a nice crowd tonight. A little bit bittersweet in some ways. We're here tonight in part to honor Lieutenant Quilter. But I also think we're here to embrace the future and look forward to the great things that we're going to expect and as we move forward here. So before we do anything, I'm going to turn it over to the police chief. Good evening, police chief.
Good evening. Thank you for hosting us here and for putting this to the top of the agenda. I really appreciate it. And, you couldn't have said it any better. This is a very solemn occasion for us, but at the same time, very exciting. This opportunity for the promotion to lieutenant does not come around that often within a police department, regardless of one as small as ours as well. With the retirement of John Quilter and his passing, it opened up that opportunity. And I know John would say, just move along, we got business to do. And so that's what we're doing. We held a very difficult, stressful, and competitive promotional process, which included written exams and oral testing. Very proud of the people that came out, not just for the lieutenant's test, but also the sergeant's test as well. It shows me what a great group of professionals that I work with. I'm very proud to work with them. But tonight we're here to honor and promote Sergeant Mark Canoy. Mark Canoy has been with the Plainville Police Department for 17 years. He was hired in 2008. He was promoted to patrol sergeant in 2015. Spent a small amount of time in the detective division, and then in 2022, I had the opportunity to assign him as the administrative sergeant. In that duty, in that responsibility, he pretty much worked directly hand in hand with me, handling various tasks a lot. It's too many to go through right now. But really handling scheduling, training, fleet, grants, and a lot of other administrative tasks. And, his experience and his dedication, his ability to just really do the right thing every single day and to show me that he's really worth his weight in gold is going to make him the perfect choice. He finished number 1 in the testing process, and I think he's going to do great in the new position. His family's here to support him, and I know they've supported him throughout his career. It's hard enough to be a police officer, but once you choose the route of being promoted, it puts even that much more strain on your family. So I appreciate what his family has done to support him and what Mark has done for the Plainville Police Department up to this point, and I know he's going to have greater things to do in the future. So thank you very much, and with that said, I respectfully request that Mark Canoy, Sergeant Canoy, be promoted to the rank of lieutenant. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone care to make a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Gentlemen.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Sergeant Mark Canoy as police lieutenant effective April 22nd, 2025.
Second.
Motion and a second. Anyone with any comments or questions?
I just have one comment.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better person to fill this position. I've worked with you several times over the last couple of years. Nobody better. Wish you luck, and you've earned this. Yeah.
Yes, good luck. Big shoes to fill, but I'm sure you're ready for it.
Yeah.
And we're very excited to have you tonight, be here and enjoy the moment with you. Yes.
I'd like to just say welcome aboard
First
as
hit.
an officer. I had the right to say welcome aboard as a patrolman, if I remember right. And I'm glad that you're going to be in our view and that you'll be able to help everybody that needs help.
All right. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. Now the fun part. Who gets to pin something on you tonight? Good luck. And make sure you we are going to want to get some pictures, so don't run away right after you're done. Or first we should do the oath. Yes, thank you. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Connecticut, the laws and ordinances of the town of Plainville, obey the rules, regulations, and orders of the police department, that you discharge the duties as lieutenant for the town of Plainville according to the best of your knowledge and ability?
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
If you ever wanted to get back at him, here's the time.
Sarah. This is a moment. She's like, Mom, turn her.
All right, now face the family so they can get a couple pictures.
They're not done yet.
Good. All right.
Speech. All right. Yes. Care to say anything?
Thank you to town council for the kind words. Mike and Andy, I work with you guys a lot, so thank you for the opportunity as well. Chief, captain, all my guys and girls I work with, you guys are the best. Can't wait to keep going with you guys. Most importantly, my family, like they were saying, it was a pretty crazy process, the studying and putting up with that and me taking the time for myself, and I couldn't have done it without you guys, especially my wife for holding down the fort and, you know, pretty much sacrificing everything for me to be able to do this. And I have her to thank about 18 years ago when she answered the ad in the Step Saver for Plainville police officer, without my knowledge, by the way. And here I am today, 18 years later almost. So, but again, I owe it all to her, and that's all.
Congratulations. Good luck. I know most of you want to stay here and see how the town runs and how the business gets done, but I understand if you do need to leave on to better things tonight, we'll give you a couple minutes to go ahead and get some more pictures out in the hallway maybe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
If I had known that story earlier, it might have been a different outcome tonight. Yeah, that's
For a minute, I had to think what he meant.
All right, so we do have a couple public hearings this evening, and this is probably one of the longer public hearings we're going to have to read the call to, so Town Clerk, you are up.
Thank you. Notice is hereby given that the Town Council of the Town of Plainville, Connecticut, acting in its capacities as the Town Council and as the town's Water Pollution Control Authority, will hold a public hearing at the Town Council Chambers, 1 Central Square, on Monday, April 21st, 2025 at 7 p.m. to consider the advisability of the Shuttle Metal Road Pump Station rehabilitation consisting of replacement of existing pumps and motors with submersible-style pumps, mixers, instrumentation, equipment, piping, valves within a new precast wet well and valve vault, replacement of existing control and generator building, with the new pre-engineered and fabricated electrical building and all new electrical pump controls, instrumentation, generator, new VFDs, modifications to the existing wet well, and targeted demolition of existing components and site work. The project is contemplated to be completed substantially in accordance with plans prepared by Tig and Bond. The appropriation may be spent for design, construction, acquisition, and installation costs, equipment, materials, site improvements, engineering, and other consultant fees, legal fees, grant application, administration costs, Net interest on borrowings and other financing costs and other expenses related to the project. Affected property owners and electors of the town of Plainville, Connecticut will be heard at the public hearing concerning the proposed sewer project. To consider a proposed ordinance entitled, Ordinance Appropriating $3,175,896 for construction of Shuttle Meadow Road Pump Station Rehabilitation Project and authorizing the issue of bonds and notes to finance the portion of the appropriation not defrayed from grants. A copy of the proposed ordinance is on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours in the office of the town clerk, in the Municipal Center, 1 Central Square, and the Plainville Public Library, 56 East Main Street in Plainville. Dated at Plainville, Connecticut, this 16th day of April 2025. Plainville Town Council, Water Pollution Control Authority.
Now, would you like to read the second one, or would you like a little break in between?
We'll just keep
It's
going.
up to you.
We'll keep going.
Then go ahead.
Notice is hereby given that the Town Council of the Town of Plainville, Connecticut will hold a public hearing on Monday, April 21st, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers at the Municipal Center, Plainville, Connecticut for the following purposes. 1. To consider a proposed ordinance entitled, Ordinance Appropriating $6 million for the Road and Related Improvements Program and authorizing the issue of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance the appropriation. 2. To consider a proposed ordinance entitled, Ordinance Appropriating $1 million for acquisition of a new public works facility and authorizing the issue of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance the appropriation. 3. To consider a proposed ordinance entitled, Ordinance Appropriating $1 million for the Board of Education mechanical improvements and authorizing the issue of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance the appropriation. 4. To consider a proposed ordinance entitled, Ordinance Appropriating $1 million for town mechanical improvements and authorizing the issue of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance the appropriation. Copies of the proposed ordinances are on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours in the office of the town clerk and at the Plainville Public Library, dated at Plainville, Connecticut, the 16th day of April 2025, Plainville Town Council.
Okay, thank you. At this point, is there anything before we open it up for public comment, anything you want to speak to either of the two public hearings this evening?
Yes, good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to add to the clerk's description. She had much of the detail in the ordinance for the construction of the Shuttle Meadow Pump Road Station. But I just want to add to that that a large portion of the funding will be deferred by the Clean Water Fund, and I think it's an 80-20 split of something like that nature. So that, in that sense, it will be deferred by the additional grant funding. With respect to the other 4 items, I just wanted to give a little bit more detail because there's an awful lot to for each of the 4. The first is the $6 million appropriation for the what we call the road bond, or the next reiteration of the road bond. So essentially, I'm just reading from John Bossie's memo that kind of gives the details of the facts that we have about 328 street sections in the town, totaling approximately 67.28 miles of maintained paved roadways. To date, we've done approximately half of that, about 34, actually about 33 miles, with about 34 miles left to go. So we're looking for the $6 million over a 5-year period to take care of trying to keep pace with paving. And as you know, we like to try and get 20 plus years or more out of the road conditions whenever we can. But this is really just to keep pace with conditions. The other 3 items, $1 million for the acquisition of a new public works facility is not just the acquisition, but the site improvements and design for that in that figure. And then for the other 2, the town and Board of Education, With respect to the town side, we have the library HVAC system, the library roof, the senior center HVAC system, and the firehouse HVAC system, all included within that 1 million allocation. And on the Board of Education side, it is the high school's emergency generator, repointing brick at Tofflon and Linden, pool, general upkeep and maintenance of the pool at the high school, the press box rehab at Tinty Field, and pool room heat exchanger, and the TED rooftop units above the tech education section of the high school. So that I hopefully will give a little bit more detail as to what we're proposing here in each of the 5 different allocations.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments from the council before we open it up for comments? All right, so at this point, we do have 2 public hearings. The first one is regarding the pump station. The second one is regarding the referendum. Questions anticipated to be held on June 3rd, I believe.
Correct.
What we'll do is take them one at a time. Is there anyone that wishes to speak to the public hearing regarding the pump station? Yes, Mr. Kislik.
John Kislik, 65 Forestville Avenue. As far as this pump station, when the first part of it, advisability of needing it, I would say that the town needs it. I don't think our staff handles the wastewater treatment plant is going to want to do something we don't need. But the other thing is kind of like half connected. I mean, it's a lot of money for this. And to go back to last meeting, with General Electric and their charge that they paid half rate. There's another part to that. It doesn't matter so much that we're going to get full boat for the water use and going into our system, but this is it's helping to overtax our plant. And I know from what I've heard, we're getting pretty close, and with all new housing being developed and stuff, this to me would be like if there's an area in town with a high water table and you have 50 people with some pumps dumping into the sanitary sewer system. So that, it's costing us more money to run the plant with that. I mean, it's not kind of like tied into this pump station, but I wanted to throw it in there because it means money for us. And $3 million is a lot of money. So I don't know if this council can work on something else with that. And maybe an extra charge on top of just paying for the water going into the system, because it is taxing our system. And we're getting close. We might have to do some kind of expanding again. So that's all I have on that one.
All right. And just, and we anticipate, about 80% of the money coming from the Clean Water Fund, which would leave us with about 20%.
Right, we'll have reimbursement, right.
Okay. And just, Mr. Kislik, we did authorize a study, or they are looking into our inflow and infiltration issues, because you are correct. We are seeing lots of flow, more than what we would like to. And once we have the study completed, I think we're going to have a number of action items, hopefully, to address that. The amount of water that is coming into the system, we are hoping to see some benefit from that. But you are correct that we are seeing high water flows, but we are addressing it with this study, hopefully. All right. Anyone else wish to address the public hearing regarding the pump stations? John, you didn't raise your hand, did you? No? Oh, I thought I caught you. All right, so we'll close that public hearing. We'll move on to the second public hearing regarding the, proposed ordinances regarding the referendum that should be held on June 3rd. Is there anyone that wishes to address that public hearing? It should be number 2 under
Public hearing.
Yeah,
public hearing. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm just making sure it said that. I mean, you probably want to say something, John. Why don't you come up? We'll figure it out together.
I'm waiting for the other four.
So yeah,
this is
so
good.
there is, so this is a, we're looking to go to referendum for a bond. 6
Yeah.
million will be for road improvements, 1 million for a proposed public works facility.
Right.
Okay.
That's coming up.
That's right now, the
Well,
public hearing.
I thought you have two. I answered the first thing of advisability. Then the other one, I guess, is on appropriating the 3,175,000.
Well, if you want to speak to that, go ahead.
Yeah. The only thing I asked, do we know what the bonding interest is going to be yet? Any idea?
No. Short answer, no. I'm sure we can get what the finance department is anticipating.
Well, it changes daily, but I didn't know if
Yes,
you're locked
and that's
in.
why we cannot give you an exact answer, but I'm sure,
You can't lock in until it's approved.
correct, yeah, and until we actually need to borrow the money permanently, which is probably a couple years down the road, I would imagine, but we could give you an idea.
Okay. You want me to talk on the other ones?
If you want, yeah, keep going.
4 separate ones.
I mean, it doesn't mean you get 12 minutes, though. 'cause
It should.
there's
They're
four.
all separate. It says 1, 2, 3, 4. It says $6 million for the road bonds. I know we need it. I mean, we're still working on Whiting, and I guess hopefully they're going to tie that into Broad Street.
Yes.
It's still a, whatever you want to call it. But the only other thing you have on the agenda today, crack sealing. Is crack sealing included in this $6 million?
No,
For,
that is separate.
Well, only because it says, how did they put it? In related improvements program, so that's why. But anyway, my thing about the crack sealing, last year, quite a few people had to have tires replaced by the town or some insurance company because when they were sealing, cars ran over this stuff, somebody wasn't watching or what was going on. I personally know some people had to have 4 new tires paid for by somebody's insurance company. So, maybe some heads up of that this happened next time they start crack sealing, so you don't have to pay for people's tires.
Okay.
The other thing for $1 million for a public works facility is everything going to still stay on Granger Lane? All those buildings there, they're going to.
Short answer, no.
No, because a little trivia, one that's across from their office was owned by Marilyn's brother. He sold it to the town.
Yes.
And I did all the air compressing piping in that building. So I'd hate to see it demolished.
Well, I'm sure it's still working. It'll probably be working for the next 50 years, probably.
Right. And
My grandmother still says the bathroom you put in her house is
Yeah.
still working great. And
Yeah,
that
it
was
used to do
a
good
number of
work.
years ago.
used to do good work
Yep.
when I was young.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't we all?
So that's the same thing. We don't know anything about borrowing the money. Do we have a location where we want to build this? Did you figure that out yet?
I think we do, but I'm going to let the town manager answer that so that he can share with you what he feels comfortable sharing.
If you want to wait till I'm done, and you could.
Yeah, we can let them go through.
If you want to finish up, and then
let
we'll
me
answer
finish
it.
up. Get out of your hair. The other thing on the.
You're not staying for public comments?
Oh, I am. Marilyn has to address you tonight.
No, that's okay.
The $1 million for Board of Ed mechanical improvements, I'll take that one separate. They just got a huge increase in their budget. And I believe they have capital projects in there or money for capital things. Why are we going for $1 million? Can't they absorb some of it with that huge budget that they just came up with? I mean, I saw that list. To me, I was on building committee for 2 of the schools, and some of them things that they're talking about should have lasted 20 years. The stuff with the pool, I mean, we had to put a new heater in the pool, we had to do the pool over, and here we are doing more stuff for it now. And a few of the other things that you mentioned, it doesn't make sense to me. And I think, my opinion on both of these, it's like the taxpayers are getting hit twice. We're getting hit with a big tax increase this year. There's no way around it. And this is like taxing us again, but behind closed doors or back doors or whatever you want to put on it. It just doesn't seem right that the council's going to approve this much more money on top of our budget. Maybe I'm the only one who feels that way, but that'll be the exact same thing with the town. I don't remember all the things the town manager said, but it's the same thing. We have that in a town budget too. And to me, it's like it's a little bit overboard on an extra $1 million on top of our budget increase, which I feel some things should be in our regular yearly budget. And I think that's about it. So maybe the town manager could answer that other thing.
Yeah,
Thank you
no,
for your time.
absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the first one I want to address is John makes a good point about the issue with crack ceiling. And we did have some issues, and I think we've learned from that. A long conversation with John Bossy about that, and the vendor we used. There were some claims that were placed before tires. He's absolutely right. That there were individuals that encountered problems with that and destroyed their tires. So, and that was a lot of communication and things that we worked through, and hopefully have learned from that going forward for the next round. As far as the garage location, we're looking at moving away from Granger Lane and from Norton Park to co-locate at a location, the Ioti property on Camp Street. And that is the former crushing and operations site there that has some additional acreage there that would have to be developed, and that's why it's site development and design, not just acquisition. So that's the site that we're looking at,
All right.
and that's all I have.
All right. Thank you. That answers. Okay. Is there anyone else that wishes to address this particular public hearing this evening? All right, seeing no one, we can move on to item 3, minutes of the previous meeting.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman Tompkins.
motion to approve the minutes from April 7th, 2025 regular meeting.
Second.
All right, any comments, questions, or changes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Announcements and reports. Are there any announcements or reports this evening?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Councilman Underwood.
the fire department's going to have their pasta supper April 26th, Saturday, 4 to 7, and there'll be a raffle for a balloon ride for 2.
Excellent. Councilwoman Moranti.
Yeah, I attended three meetings of the groups that I am the liaison to. On April 8th, I was at the Library Board of Trustees, and that was, of course, with our new director, Jennifer Smith. And just a highlight from that meeting was their discussion of plans for the new teen space and the new makerspace areas. Then April 9th was Conservation Commission, and they had a busy meeting. Some updates on Tomaso Nature Park. First of all, it is open for the season. The beavers are unusually active compared to other years, which is a good thing. The group also voted to appropriate some money from their budget for an additional sign for the turtle nesting area. They are still working on the Sustainable Connecticut. That's almost like a, sort of a quasi-certification that you can get. There's different levels based on points for what you're doing for sustainability, and they're working with the assistant manager on that, and they're hoping to get the ball rolling by first looking at what points the town can get for things that we're already doing. Earth Day, they're again distributing white dogwood seedlings to selected grades at the elementary schools. And on Saturday, May 3rd, 9 to 12, is the Spring River Cleanup. And volunteers are invited to help, and the details will be on the Facebook page of the Conservation Commission. And April 16th was Committee on Aging. Obviously, there was a recap of the wonderful event that was held Tuesday, which quite a few of us were at, celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Plainville Senior Center. Also, the cafe renovation's moving along, hopefully to be completed soon. And they are updating and revising their membership form, amongst other things. And that's it.
All right, thank you. Anyone else with an announcement or a report? All right, we will move on now to item 5, appointments and resignations. We've taken care of number 1 Motion regarding item number 2.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman Tompkins.
motion to appoint Officer Ryan Martell as a fire investigator.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Underwood.
motion to appoint Greg Nolan as a regular firefighter to the Plainville Fire Department.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Any other appointments or reappointments this evening? All right, Board of Education actually has their regular meeting tonight because last week was vacation week for the school system, so we can go right to item 7, report of the town attorney. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. I don't really have much to report other than May 2nd this year is Law Day, which is the first Friday in May, typically. And this year, the theme of Law Day is the Constitution. I just think it's a good thing to celebrate. I don't have anything else. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. Any questions or comments for the town attorney? All right, we can move now to item 8, report of the town manager. You
Yes.
are up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First and foremost, item 1 is about the state fire poster contest winner, and believe it or not, is our own Plainville's own Emma Blanco, a student at Wheeler Elementary School. She was chosen as the state Connecticut poster winner, so I'd like to take that opportunity to acknowledge her win at the state level. We are working to gather some pictures from that luncheon event and try to make some future Facebook posts, so we'll put that out there, which I think is just
And
great news.
maybe if we can have a proclamation and invite her to a future meeting and just recognize it, I think would be appropriate.
Yeah.
We'll try and keep it a secret.
Yeah.
We'll do our best.
Just don't tell Cindy.
Yeah.
Super, great idea. Item number 2 is that time of year, it's the 2025 Neighborhood Assistance Act. The Connecticut Neighborhood Assistance Act Tax Credit Program is designed to provide funding for municipalities by providing a corporation business tax credit for businesses which make cash contributions to these entities. Applications must be completed in full and approved locally and submitted to the Connecticut Department of Revenue Services by July 1st, 2025. Prior to submission to the Department of Revenue Services, the town must hold a public hearing on all programs, and the town council must approve these programs. There is an item under new business to set a public hearing date for the Neighborhood Assistance Act. Item number 3, fair housing. It is the policy of the town of Plainville to promote fair housing opportunities and to encourage racial and economic integration in all its programs and housing development activities. Programs funded and administered by the town of Plainville must comply with the provisions of Section 46A through 64C of the Connecticut General Statutes and with related state and federal laws and regulations that prohibit discriminatory housing practices. There are 3 items under new business to approve the following: the Fair Housing Resolution, the Fair Housing Policy Statement, and Title VI Equal Opportunity Statement. Again, that's an annual process that we go through. Item number 4 is roadway hot crack sealing bid. The crack sealing program is performed annually. The program's objective is to fill cracks in the pavement of streets in order to extend their service life. The town engineer has prepared a list of streets in need of repair, and the list is included in your packet. The department requests authorization to utilize the Capital Regional Council of Governments solicitation invitation bid number 768, asphalt pavement crack sealing hot pour per pound. The company U-Seal of Bloomfield, Connecticut was deemed by CROG as the lowest responsible bidder. The bid price is $1.64 per pound of crack sealant installed. There is an item under new business to authorize the town manager to utilize the Council Regional Council of Governments bid number 768 asphalt pavement crack sealing and award bid 2025-20E roadway hot crack sealing to USEAL, of Bloomfield, Connecticut, not to exceed $50,000. Item 5 is Municipal Center digital sign. I mentioned that at a previous meeting that was underway. This project has been identified by members of the town council and staff as a priority initiative to improve communication of town messages and alerts, as well as promote local nonprofit events and functions. The new digital sign will replace the existing plywood signboards, and all existing rules governing public message content will apply to the digital display. While digital signage is generally not permitted under current zoning regulations, the town is exempt from compliance. Additionally, the project is intended solely for public communication and community benefit, not for commercial advertising. Sign Pro Inc. has offered competitive pricing on the required equipment and services and has been identified as the preferred vendor for this project. We recommend engaging them through a sole source procurement. I am recommending the town council award the purchase and installation of a digital signboard in front of the municipal center to Sign Pro Inc. of Plantsville, Connecticut, as a sole source purchase in the amount of $29,698. There is an item under new business to award bid 2025-21 municipal center digital sign to Sign Pro Inc. of Plainville, Connecticut. I think it's.
Yeah, that
Sorry.
probably should be Plantsville.
Is it Plantsville or is it right here?
No, they're in
Plantsville.
Plantsville.
Okay. In the amount of $29,698. Item number 6, I wanted to bring you up to speed. Is I think many of you members have heard about the application before Tilcon to Planning and Zoning Commission. Tilcon's application is to extend the quarry north of I-84, which needs P&Z approval to change the current zone from R40 residential to quarry. The request involves 83 additional acres along the Metacomet Ridge. The April 8th public hearing was held open and will be continued on May 13th, 2025. The planning department has taken numerous calls and has set up a dedicated email, planning@plainville-ct.gov, to handle those opportunities to submit comment or to pose questions. The planner has also taken the initiative to create additional town webpage dedicated to this application to allow the public access to documents, much like if you were to access a Dropbox for very large files that we couldn't email out to people. So that, I'm happy to report, is live, and it is under the P&Z as active applications. And so that is up and running. It is labeled as Sherman Land LLC, so that's where you'll find it. And we check that. That's live. And I think helpful with respect to transparency, a ton of information that'll be loaded up there. And of course, the planning department will take comment, written email comment, up into the hearing that's continued for May 13th. So I know that's an issue that the members, I'm sure, are monitoring. There have been, comments about where the town council fits in the process, and you don't as a body. Individually, you can comment, but not, to interfere with the process with P&Z. And that's, I think, all I'll say on that. Item 7 is another matter I just wanted to bring to your attention. It's a discussion on potential repeal of ordinance, which is Chapter 269, massage establishments. We've had previous issues that have come up under this ordinance, and recently we received a letter from Attorney Bill Galsky, who represents a client who wants the town council to modify Chapter 269 of the Municipal Code to allow for massage establishments to be located within 500 feet of a public or private educational facility, public library, structure, or building used for conducting religious services or any other massage establishment. So the letter is in your packet from Attorney Galsky for you to review, but this is, the way I understand it, a issue that involves a current, well-established business, which is massage or spa, if you will, I think is the title and the name of the establishment located near Wendy's, and wants to move across town to Main Street with a property that happens to be available, but within 500 feet of a church. So they are essentially petitioning, if you will, because the ordinance does not allow a petition process and/or a appeal process. So they're coming through the letter to the council, asking for your consideration to potentially take action and review this. I have talked with our town attorney on this. Andy and I have talked about this as well in terms of whether it makes sense. Take a look at this in terms of repealing part or all of it, and maybe changing it to a regulation under P and Z and then allow for any type of appeals that you could do administratively versus an ordinance that has no remedy really other than to go to the courts. But I have talked to the town attorney on this. I think we'll need a little bit more review, obviously, but if the council feels it's something we should do to promote, retention of businesses that have obviously, I don't know the whole history for this particular spa, but that they are well established and have a big clientele and would like to stay in business here in Plainville and relocate. So I think I'm not sure how the ordinance it came to being, but I think we'd have to give this a look. It may be time where it makes sense to repeal, maybe a portion of it, maybe all of it, maybe to remove it entirely. I don't know. But if the council feels after your review and time to digest the letter, you feel this is an issue, I can certainly prep it and bring it back for the next meeting. What is it not here for action tonight? It's just merely an item I'm bringing to your attention.
So I think just, if everybody could take a look at the letter of request, get back to the town manager over the next week or so and just let them know what concerns or if you have any questions, and see if we want to continue moving towards some kind of resolution. Yes.
And Mr. Chair, I just would indicate that as a town attorney, I agree that you should take a look at the ordinance.
Okay.
If there's any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Okay.
Any of the council members.
All right. Thank you. Yes.
Councilman Underwood and I are missing the letter from Attorney Galsky.
I think it's on the.
It's in the packet.
It's in the packet.
Oh, it's on?
It's not printed out. It's page 39 and 40, I believe, of the of in your iPad.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I don't think I have we didn't have paper copies, correct?
I don't think I have it with me now.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? I might. Yeah. Let's see.
I mean, if anyone wants to, okay, you got, okay, thank you.
I got it.
All right,
Thank you.
all right, so yes, if everyone could take a look at that letter and, within the week or so, give
Mr.
any
Chairman?
feedback. Yes,
Can we also have the ordinance,
It's in the
copy of it? Is it in with the letter?
It's in the
Yes.
packet.
Thank you.
that's page 41 and 42 and 43. I'll just stop there because it keeps going, so it looks long.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else with any question or comment? All right, up to what, number 8?
Yes, time for financial dashboard. If there are no other questions on the first. Oh, I'm sorry, do I have one more?
Yeah, we got the, I know you're anxious to get to new business because
It's long.
we only have,
See it to happen.
we only have, yeah.
Highlight of the night.
You're all witnessing history here
What did I
tonight,
miss?
a little bit later on.
Oh, we have.
he didn't do the last
Okay.
item, did he?
Do you have that on yours?
I do. Let me go to my
Is it your- okay.
revised.
Oh, I thought
Do we want to,
add something,
do you need a minute to come back to that, or
Nope.
we're good?
Number 8 is Department of Transportation Property Acquisition, Farmington Canal Heritage Trail Phase 2. So there is, thank you. And this is just putting us, or notification that we are receiving $200,000 in compensation for that piece that runs along the airport, comes down Perrin Road, and then turns into Johnson Avenue. So, and then jumps across to, before it jumps across to Element 119. And that is what they've done in the past. It's their protocol. Will obviously earmark these funds, or put these funds that we get into the sustainable fund for maintenance, future maintenance ongoing for the trail. It's significant that I don't think, in my opinion, that we'd ever have to fund at all, because we also have the funds from Phase 1 portion coming out from Southington. That's already been seeded into that fund. This will go into that as well. And again, I think I even commented on this the meeting, that, we don't anticipate a whole lot of maintenance on the trail. I mean, if there's a tree down and a tree limb and so forth, but it's not gonna be like we're, adding it like another road and we gotta plow it. It's just, you pass at your own risk kind of thing, and if it's passable and so forth. So, or if a split rail fence or something that's close by, and any kind of fencing that falls in or falls down, obviously we'll have to replace and so forth. But these are what the funds will be used for in this purpose, and that is a notification from the state. So I wanted to bring you up to date on that, but also state, there's been some comments, about where we are in this process and how we got here. And from the beginning, it was, 3 phases, broken down into 3 phases. So, discussion around the third and final alignment, if you will, through the center of town, which we've been working on, and trying to find the proper alignment. That is the middle piece where Phase 1 coming out of Southington and Phase 2 coming out of Farmington. Those are already laid in position. The final design has been completed. We are now, in acquisition. Funds have, properties have been acquired and paid for and compensated for. Same coming from Phase 2. The state is not going to then go and say, okay, let's go down Route 10. That's not happening. I just want to be clear with that. I know there's been some other ideas around that. We are lined up like this: Phase 1, Phase 2. We're trying to figure out Phase 3 in the middle, and the best way to do it. Right?
Okay.
We're not there yet, but it's not like we're going to jump, or the state is going to jump to a wholesale change, in my opinion. Again, I can't speak for the state, but I think that would be safe to say they're not going to change. So I just wanted to clarify that we don't have to revisit Phase 1 and Phase 2.
Okay.
They're going to be in construction for Phase 1 later this season, and Phase 2 will be next year. So it's figuring out the middle.
Okay.
So I think of it as bookends or
Yeah.
endpoints, and we've got to connect. We got to connect the middle.
Yep.
So.
All right.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead.
So you're saying we've already signed the deal for Phase 1 and Phase 2?
Phase 1 and Phase 2 design is complete, and they will be going into construction for those in 25 and 26.
So we've signed we've given them a total permission to do those 2 positions.
Yeah, that's already happened. And Phase 1 will go first, and they're already coming through, Southington. They've still got some issues with final acquisition and so forth, and some, I would think, just a clarification or confirmation that they've got exactly every single piece before they start milling and paving kind of thing.
How do we know what phase one is and what phase two is? Do we have a map?
Sure, we can go then, or the next meeting, I can certainly prepare where those maps and designs from the state have left us.
Would you please take care of that?
Sure, yep.
Make sure of it.
Phase one will be first coming out of Southington and into Norton Park, or up to, close to Norton Park. And then where they leave off is where we've been discussing that end point and how do we get around the pool and over, up South Washington or Hemingway or wherever we are gonna get in phase three, up to the other portion where it comes out from, coming through Tomaso Nature Park in phase two and connecting those 2 points.
It's into Tomaso's Park?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
that's all I have.
Any other questions regarding the bike trail or anything else the town manager's talked about yet? I know we have the financial dashboard still, but, all right, everyone's good? All right, number 9.
Happenings. Before happenings. 8 is, right, I gotta go back to financial dashboard.
Yeah, if you want to. You want to give an abbreviated version? I know we're just anxious to get to the 19 new business items we have.
I understand, okay, so yes, I can certainly be quick. We're in good shape. Nothing unremarkable here, it's pretty unremarkable, nothing remarkable. It's, we're on pace in terms of revenues. Again, right in line with the 2-year average at 69.59. So the general government breakdown, right in line with the 2-year average. So revenue, expenditures are there, revenues are the same. And on the only, I guess I'll bring to your attention is just the overtime issues on the second page with respect to police, roadways, and building and grounds. All have overexpended their overtime. So that is of concern and was something I'm going to drill down in and look at. But it's the dispatch overtime on the police side. And that may have obviously been a reflection of different personnel coming and going. On our side, the snow overtime really drove the budget for roadways. And on the building and grounds, it was a combination of the snow and the Balloon Fest. So same picture when we get to, not the same picture, but as I've been reporting on the hauling of solid waste is over by 35 tons, but our recycling is under by 91. So there seems to be a widening gap between solid waste going higher and recycling going lower. So, and I think that's just a reflection of people just aren't recycling as much, and it's ending up
Going
in
into-
the municipal solid
Right.
waste. Yeah, maybe would do what we can to promote that, I guess. Yeah, revenues right in line. Fund balance same, unchanged, and the special funds. Nothing really has changed there with respect to either recreation, Robertson, water pollution control, or the library. Everything is running in line with expectations. Nothing noteworthy on any of those special revenue funds. With respect to the major projects, as mentioned earlier, Whiting Street is going to be wrapping up this year, and we are tying in the Broad Street intersection, and we're also talking about trying to extend that pavement along Broad Street, curb to curb, from whiting all the way up to the tracks, maybe more. We'll find out because, as I mentioned, we were given assurances that the Broad Street restoration from the utility would be done before Memorial Day, before we have the parade, but we're trying to clean up a little bit more if we can with funds there. But wrapping up Whiting Street, and of course, that all part of the road bond, the tail end of that previous road bond issue of $5 million. So again, we're wrapping that up and looking to get a bond authorization for the next 5 years. So that's where we're at. Hope that
All right. So any, before we turn it over to the Assistant Town Manager for happenings, any comments or questions regarding the Town Manager report? You're next.
Great, thank you. Good evening. The all-day budget vote will be on Tuesday, April 29th. That's next Tuesday, from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Firehouse, 77 West Main Street. The Recreation Department announced their summer programs. Registration is open now for all residents and non-residents. You can visit plainvillect.recdesk.com for more information, and you can also find updates on the Town of Plainville's Facebook page and the Plainville Recreation Department's Facebook page as well. From the public library, and for information on the library, including registration, you can call at 860-793-1446 or visit plainvillect.com/library. Opening night of the Townwide Art Show is on Thursday, May 1st at 5:30 p.m. Student artwork will be displayed throughout the library from May 1st to May 20th. Please stop by and view the wonderful curation of local student artwork throughout the library. The New Britain Symphony Orchestra will be performing at the library on Saturday, May 3rd at 2 p.m. You can register online at the library. And from the Senior Center, and for all information on Senior Center programs, you can call the Senior Center at 860-747-5728. All programs are free and open to the public unless otherwise indicated. A DIY sugar scrub and toothpaste for Earth Day program will be tomorrow, April 22nd at 10 a.m. An opportunity to celebrate Earth Day with a hands-on workshop where you'll learn to make natural sugar scrub or toothpaste using simple and eco-friendly ingredients. The Veterans Social Hour with Sherry Vo is also tomorrow, Tuesday, April 22nd at 10 a.m. This is for all veterans over 60 and their spouses. The Art of Letting Go Decluttering Workshop will be on Wednesday, April 23rd at 2 p.m., an opportunity to get expert tips on creating safer and a more organized home. And finally, a new member ice cream social is being held on Monday, April 28th at 4 p.m. If you've joined the Senior Center in the last 6 months, you are welcome to join for ice cream with a variety of toppings and to meet fellow new members and to make new friends. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Before we move into public comment, does anyone have anything before we move on? All right, thank you for your reports this evening. At this point in the meeting, we're at public comments. If you wish to address the council on any issue, please step forward to the podium. Give your name and address. You'll have 3 minutes to make your comments. The first ring indicates you have 30 seconds left. The second ring indicates the time has run out. Is there anyone that wishes to address the council this evening? Mr. Kislick.
John Kislick, 65 Forest Hill Avenue. Just a fast one on the trail. I remember there was a guy here from the state, and when somebody asked him, why don't you go behind the houses on Hemingway? He says, because the state will always go for the least expensive way. Now, you tell me it's more expensive to go down the Farmington Avenue than all these other trails through the woods and under highways. It's just a comment I wanted.
No, and I understand. I mean,
they're not going to do it, I know, but I just have to say. The other thing, since I missed last meeting on the public hearing, you know, with the billing for motor vehicles, they changed it to twice a year. I don't think anyone ever bought a car to work around the ability to save 6 months of taxes. I think if they fell into that, it was by accident. Did this council ever find out how many people fell into that, say the last year, and how much money the town lost? You know, was it 6 people and they lost $1,000? Nobody ever checked into that, right?
Well, I'm not sure we lose any money because you get charged based on when you purchase the car. I mean, I think we collect the money in full. We don't lose anything, but there is a significant delay in.
Right.
Yeah, and I understand. I think I understand what you're asking, but yeah, we do get the money. You do get charged, but
But you don't,
the timing is.
we don't know how many people fell into
No,
that. and
I don't
then-
think do we have that number up?
No, I don't.
We could
Okay.
probably give you
Okay.
at
No,
least a reasonable.
It's not really worth it. I just want to make a point of it. And then the state changed for the depreciation schedule to 80%. Now, was the 85 that the town was allowed to do, was that in there, or was that going to be a separate public hearing? Because I remember the towns they all complained, they wanted to start the depreciation at 85%. Did the town do that too, or is that still up in the air?
No,
Starting the depreciation schedule on the new
we
new assessment.
We did already not take care of it, but we did act on that.
Okay.
I don't know if it was the last meeting or 2 meetings ago,
Okay, I missed it because
but we can find that out as well.
that's all right, but you are at the 85% starting.
Yes.
Okay, because, this had to be one of the most unfair taxes that I've ever seen. I give you an example. I bought a vehicle in 2020 for just under $4,000, and the town was taxing a little over $4,000. It's fine. In the assessment year of 2023, they raised that to $8,200. Of course, I appealed and I got relief, but this way, it's more fair. The way I looked at it, the only way anybody would ever get that book value of a car is if they had insurance and they got in an accident and totaled that car, because nobody else is going to sell those vehicles for what they're assessing them at. It was just ridiculous. But I know because of this, the town is losing taxes and we have to make it up other ways in taxing. But to me, that's more fair to tax the whole town for what we need to run the town instead of a very unfair taxing system on automobiles. So I'm glad that went into effect and give the automobile owners a little relief.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the council this evening? Ms. Charette.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Marilyn Charette, 18 Milford Street, Plainville. Did you all have a nice Easter?
Yes.
Good. I did too. At the last council meeting, I misinterpreted the timeline of the progress of the report for the town manager, his search. I want to read from the Second Amendment of his contract. I borrowed this, by the way, from John in his Freedom of Information. Employee agrees to expeditiously make in good faith effort to relocate to the town of Plainville during his tenure of his employment. On B, it says, by no later than October 1st, 2025, the town shall determine whether employee has made a good faith effort to relocate to Plainville. In determining whether employee has made a good faith effort to relocate to the town of Plainville, the council may consider the following factors. I, the retention of a real estate agent, the number of comparable potential residences listed for sale in Plainville from execution of this amendment forward, the number of potential residences toured by the employee, whether any of the residents toured are comparable to the employee's current residence, and the number of same. the list price of any such comparable residence, and whether the employee has submitted any offers for any comparable residence, and if so, how many offers have been made. Sorry for the misinterpretation.
No, good.
But one thing that I would like to add is I personally would find it advantageous on your part to have this information to the public sooner. I think that, especially with it being a month before elections, that you might want to get this information out to the people. I have spoken to a number of residents in town, and this is an FYI, because I love talking to people, and we talk town issues, and everybody that I've talked to, there isn't one person that I personally spoke to that believes the resident, that the town manager should live anywhere but Plainville. And I have a very strong feeling about it because it affects us. You know, every decision that's made, it has no effect on him. He doesn't pay any taxes here, and nothing personal. You're a nice person, don't get me wrong. But this is a contract, and it's my interpretation and my personal feeling and a lot of other people. And when that comes up for vote in November, you're going to find all of the same people. They're saying the same thing, that he does need to live in Plainville. And I don't think that charter revision is a fair way to deal with this. But you've made a decision to do it this way, so I'll respect that, and we'll move forward. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the council this evening? Yes.
Tom Fody, 15 Bradley Street. I just wanted to clarify something Mr. Kislick said, because I think, just so it gets recorded or what have you. I think what the state was saying as far as it wasn't the least expensive option, it was the least environmental impact. Because for that particular section, because they won't permit it if there's a less environmentally into. That's what I believe they were talking about. I disagree. Okay, that's fair. That was all I wanted to bring up for those purposes. And that was all as far as that matter.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anyone else that wishes to address the council this evening? All right. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. We have no old business, but boy, do we have some new business for you tonight. As far as I can remember, I've never remembered 19 new items on new business on the agenda. So we will go with number one. Everyone take a sip of water.
Mr. Chair,
Councilwoman Christopher.
motion for the town council acting as the Water Pollution Control Authority to adopt an ordinance entitled Ordinance Appropriating $3,175,896 for construction of Shuttle Meadow Road Pump Station Rehabilitation Project and authorizing the issue of bonds and notes to finance the portion of the appropriation not defrayed from grants.
Second.
All right, a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number two.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Underwood.
motion to adopt a resolution entitled Resolution Establishing Referendum on Proposed Shuttle Meadow Pump Station Rehabilitation Project Bond Ordinance.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number three.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Getteman.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution entitled Resolution Authorizing Expenditures for Conduct of Referendum on Proposed Shuttle Meadow Road Pump Station Rehabilitation Project Bond Ordinance.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4.
Mr. Chair,
Councilwoman Christopher.
motion to adopt a resolution entitled Resolution Authorizing Preparation, Printing, and Distribution of Explanatory Text for Proposed Shuttle Meadow Road Pump Station Rehabilitation Project Bond Ordinance.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5.
Mr. Chair?
Councilwoman Moranti.
Okay, motion to adopt an ordinance entitled A, ordinance appropriating $6 million for the road and related improvements program and authorizing the issue of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance the appropriation. B, ordinance appropriating $1 million for acquisition of a new public works facility and authorizing the issue of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance the appropriation. C, ordinance appropriating $1 million for Board of Education mechanical improvements and authorizing the issue of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance the appropriation. D, ordinance appropriating $1 million for town mechanical improvements and authorizing the issue of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance the appropriation.
Second.
All right, a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6.
Go ahead.
Councilman Hurley.
Motion to adopt a resolution entitled Resolution Establishing Referendum on Proposed Road and Related Improvements Program Bond Ordinance.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions?
Mr. Chair?
Yes. Go ahead.
Just, wanted to just comment or question, and this could have gone for the Shuttle Meadow resolution number 2 as well. We don't mention the actual date of the referendum in this, but it is found in the full text of the resolution that's entitled what we state here, but that date is June 3rd. Yeah, it's June 3rd. It's stated in the full text, and I just wanted to be careful of that because the agenda item does say establishment of date. And just wanted to be clear that that is covered by the way we've worded the motion, where it's adopting a resolution.
Correct.
Entitled.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman Tompkins.
motion to adopt a resolution entitled Resolution Establishing Referendum on a Proposed New Public Works Facility Bond Ordinance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Underwood.
motion to adopt the resolution entitled Resolution Establishing Referendum on Proposed Board of Education Mechanical Improvement Bond Ordinance.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Gettleman.
motion to adopt a resolution entitled Resolution Establishing Referendum on Proposed Town Mechanical Improvements Bond Ordinance.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10.
Mr. Chair?
Councilwoman Moranti.
Motion to adopt a resolution entitled Resolution Authorizing Expenditures for Conduct of Referendum on Proposed Road and Related Improvements Program, New Public Works Facility, Board of Education Mechanical Improvements, and Town Mechanical Improvements Bond Ordinances.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 11.
Mr. Chair?
Councilwoman Moranti.
Motion to adopt a resolution entitled Resolution Authorizing Preparation, Printing, and Distribution of Explanatory Text for Proposed Road and Related Improvements Program, New Public Works Facility, Board of Education Mechanical Improvements, and Town Mechanical Improvements Bond Ordinances.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman Tompkins.
motion to adopt a resolution entitled Fair Housing Resolution of the Town of Plainville.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 13,
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman Christopher.
Motion to reappoint Town Manager Michael T. Paulus as the Fair Housing Officer and authorize him to sign and implement the Fair Housing Policy Statement.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 14,
Mr. Chair.
Councilman Gettleman.
Motion to authorize the town manager to sign and implement the Title VI Equal Opportunity Statement.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 15,
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman Christopher.
Motion to establish a public hearing on Monday, May 19th, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the Municipal Center to hear public comment regarding 2025 Neighborhood Assistance Act proposals.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 16,
Mr. Chair,
Councilman Hurley.
motion to award bid number 2025-20E roadway hot crack ceiling under CRCOG bid number 768 to U-Seal USA LLC, Bloomfield, Connecticut, for the amount not to exceed $50,000.
Second.
All right, a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 17,
Mr. Chair.
Councilman Gettleman.
Motion to waive the bid process and award bid number 2025-21 Municipal Center Digital Sign to Sign Pro Inc., Plainville, Connecticut, in the amount of $29,698.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? How soon, once we authorize this, how soon before it's actually up and running? Do we have that yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Could be soon, it depends on their schedule.
Okay. All right. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 18,
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman Tompkins.
motion to approve the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation's proposed acquisition for the Farmington Canal Heritage Trail, Route 72 to Northwest Drive, and authorize Town Manager Michael T. Paulus to execute all applicable documents.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 19,
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman Christopher.
Motion to approve the tax refunds as listed on the addendum.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions on the addendum? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That completes new business. So congratulations, everyone. You've been part of history here. And now if I can go back to my agenda and find the right page. We only have 8 pages here. Yeah, I'll get there. So are there any other discussions of interest? Anything anyone wants to bring up that hasn't been discussed at this point?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just it's sort of a follow-up to the item that was about the state's acquisition of the property for Phase 2. Is it a lot of paperwork? Does it take a long time to actually get them to send the 200,000? Yeah.
I don't think so. No,
Yeah.
no. Based on the experience from the piece, the previous piece, it probably not likely more than 4 to 6 weeks.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I'll double check that. I can't. I recall that it was pretty fast.
It was, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and that just comes in as revenue?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not earmarked for anything, it's just revenue. Thank you.
If I could just make a comment on that, though.
Yeah.
14,000 of that is in kind for trees and gates, so the actual cash is, I think, 186,
Oh, okay,
just to be more accurate.
okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Anyone else with any other topics of discussion? I just real quick, I just want to address, Mrs. Charette brought up charter revision and the fact that we're going out to potentially could have a referendum in November on the residency requirement. You know, I understand there's some reluctance to even discuss it, but, you know, from my perspective, you know, we're not doing this just to get rid of it necessarily, but it needs to be addressed. The way it's currently written in the charter will not work for the town of Plainville moving forward. So we do have to do something. Doing nothing is just not an option. Having been on the last council that went through the last hiring process for a town manager, I can tell you with 100% certainty that residency requirement, the way it's currently written, is a hindrance to this town moving forward. So my recommendation to go back to charter revision and have them look at this is not necessarily related directly to the current town manager, but looking a little bit longer term as well, because regardless of how we rectify, you know, the town manager's residency currently, it is something the town's going to have to deal with. It's not going to go away. And, you know, certainly, you know, I appreciate the town attorney's feedback. He's, you know, certainly feels, I believe, the same way that in some way it needs to be modified. Go ahead. You want to cut me off?
So actually, I don't want to cut you off, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to just support your comments. And actually, I did recommend that we do take another look at that requirement for the reasons that you're talking about right now with regard to the future.
All right. Thank you. And just to wrap up, Charter Revision hasn't given us their recommendation yet. You know, that's coming in June. We look forward to having them give us their final report and have some discussion behind their recommendations. But, you know, we certainly can disagree whether or not that residency requirement should or should not be in the charter. But there is a lot of middle ground in there as well that we can consider. So I think, you know, I understand people may not like the fact we're talking about it, but I truly believe that it's something that needs to be discussed, and at some point we need to make some modification at the very least with that particular section of the charter. So with that, anyone else have anything to say? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you very much. We'll see you May 5th.
May 5th.